I'm Tom Burt. I'm the head judge for the North Face Masters. This will be my second season, and I've judged a few other contests, including the Extremes in '92 and '93 in Alaska, and also the Natural Selection in Jackson Hole. I'm from Lake Tahoe, fourth generation. Grew up skiing, started snowboarding in '82, been riding ever since. Favorite places to ride are mountains. As long as they have snow on them, I'm a happy guy. I love to make turns in the snow. But probably the best mountains are the Sierras, where I live, and Alaska. As far as the categories for judging, we have the line category, which is your choice of where you want to come down the mountain. In line choice, there's a lot of line choices. There's difficulty of line, there's originality of line. It doesn't really matter to us as much, but it's nice to have original lines and different things going on in the line compared to just one style. If you can put things together and it makes sense, then that makes a line choice really good. Judges do like to see people come down more down the fall line and not traverse over just to do a certain hit. We want you to do a fall line run with a cliff in it. Control. Control has a lot to do with how you ride, and if you're in control of your turns, in control of where you're at, not sketching out, not hesitating, finishing your turns, sticking your airs. It all has to do with control. We want you to be in control, but at the same time, we don't want you to be side slipping where you can make a turn. Now we understand sometimes you might have to weasel through something and you might not be able to make a turn there, but most of the time you'd be surprised that you could make a turn there. Fluidity and flow is basically how you come down the mountain, and are you fluid. There's a lot of different things that come into conjunction there. One is speed. Are you charging down the mountain, or are you kind of just going half speed down the mountain? As far as billy goating, which is one of the questions as the head judge I get the most, how come someone did good when they billy goated through a section? It's a very difficult line, so that helps them, but at the same time, the people who do well with billy goating generally flow through that line. They're hitting a platform and then coming off that platform and right into their next turn. They're not stopping, scooting over, waiting, then jumping. They're actually just coming down, hitting that platform and moving into their next turn in a very exposed place in a very difficult line. As far as style and creativity, a great way for improving your style and creativity is to have video footage taken of you when you ride. Because sometimes you feel like you're doing something really that looks good or feels good to you, but if you see it on film, it might not be that exciting, and that's what the judges see basically is what you'd look like on video. We're looking through a set of binoculars. And I think Andy Hetzel puts it best, basically he wants to give you 25 points, if you can impress him. Clean airs, sticking your airs, nice style. We're not judging, if you're doing a freestyle line over an extreme line, you're not necessarily losing out because your creativity and style is going up over your line choice, which might be going down a little bit, but you definitely can win it. That's just the way it is. Generally, people who do the best kind of combine the two and do a little bit of both. Falls and crashes are held against you, but it's only part of what's held against you, because if you're doing something that's really difficult or you're trying something really difficult, you can still do well even though you fell. Falls come in a huge variety. The ones we hate to see are loss of control in an exposed area where you're going to be putting your body and life on the line. Don't scare the judges in that sense. We hate to see people just huck off a cliff with no intention of landing. We just cringe. We want people to have their board under their feet and land it. Do something you can do. A clean stick is a clean stick, and we can see that. Whereas when someone wheelie bars, that means they had a little bit of loss of control. How much really depends on what's going on. If you're making turns down the hill and all of a sudden you're in the back seat, that's going to hurt you a lot more than if you just did a 30-foot air, but you drag your hand just a little bit. Even though you might sit in the air or do something, if you have a good run, the rest of your run will hold up against some people who might not fall. Do your run top to bottom. Don't say, oh, you know, I drug my hand run's over. A comment that we've gotten is that our first riders tend to be lower scored. We try to have forerunners come down so that the judges can get a good view and idea of what people are going to be doing coming down the mountain. That gives us a great concept for where to establish our judging. But we do go back and reconsider with our notes and everything, everyone's lines, and we definitely scrutinize about the first 10 very hard to see if there's any room for people moving up or down. For people out there, you know, when you think about your line, think about it in the way of like what a video would look like. You want your line to start at the top and at the bottom, and you want it to flow all the way through with, you know, some type of energy and excitement in it, and, you know, not a lot of traversing, not a lot of stalling. You know, you want people to go, wow, that is, you know, someone just rode that mountain really well.